He is the best plastic surgeon in South Korea. Anyone transformed by him doesn't immediately become a top star, but their confidence greatly improves. His superb skills have attracted countless appointments from those wishing to become beautiful. Logically, he should be very wealthy. However, Dr. Cha Jung-woo has an unwritten rule. One day, a father claimed his daughter was scalded by hot water while bathing. Her face was severely scarred, but her hands were unharmed. Dr. Cha Jung-woo immediately saw the lie, as normally one would instinctively block scalding water with their hands. Without stating this, he refused surgery, citing his policy against performing reconstructive procedures. The father was furious and caused a scene at the front desk, accusing the doctor of looking down on him because he was poor and threatening to smash the hospital. Fortunately, part of the medical team intervened, preventing further drama. Unconvinced, the father exaggerated the story to the media, causing the hospital to lose customers for several days. 2 days later, a girl cautiously approached the front desk, urgently requesting a consultation. Dr. Cha Jung-woo wondered what surgery she needed so urgently. Surprisingly, she wanted to change her entire appearance, although her double eyelids and perfect lips normally wouldn't require it. Her expression was intriguing. He suggested she reconsider, advising that it wasn't too late to return if she truly needed a change. Afterward, she left in the elevator but felt uneasy, as if someone was watching her, a feeling that persisted to the underground parking lot. Suddenly, a voice stopped her. A man then burst out and laughed wildly upon seeing the girl. Soon after, the director stopped Cha Jung-woo to inform him that a patient urgently needed surgery. The girl had unexplained fractures to her cheekbone and orbital bone, along with extensive tearing of the skin on the right side of her face, requiring immediate reconstructive surgery. Without a thought, Cha Jung-woo refused, as in South Korea, such surgeries are performed by surgeons. However, after much persuasion from the director and considering the girl's severe injuries, he relented. Before the surgery, Cha Jung-woo assessed the injuries, hypothesizing that the fractures occurred after the initial blow, followed by a second assault which caused the bones to impinge on the eye muscles. Therefore, the objects lodged in the orbit needed to be removed before reconstructing the shattered bones. Meanwhile, the police arrived at the scene, but found no useful clues beyond scattered glass shards. The entire parking lot surveillance was blocked by cars during the incident, capturing no footage of the girl being beaten. The man submitted a medical report claiming the girl had attacked him first. With no evidence, the police deemed it a mutual fight. Lee Min-hyung, determined to prove the man's guilt, approached Cha Jung-woo's office, hoping he could provide an expert statement proving the injuries were caused by a second attack, thus proving premeditation. To his surprise, Cha Jung-woo instantly refused, citing patient confidentiality. At that moment, the intoxicated father barged into the office, shouting that Cha Jung-woo was unfit to be a doctor. He blamed the rejection of treatment on their lack of money, claiming his child had run away from home because of Cha Jung-woo's disdain. Before he could finish speaking, he was dragged out by the part-time doctor and security. This incident gave Lee Min-hyung a different perspective on Cha Jung-woo. That afternoon, due to lack of evidence, the scoundrel was acquitted. Furious, he grabbed his lawyer's face, upset about the time spent detained. Just as he was about to strike, Lee Min-hyung grabbed his wrist and found a tracking system on his phone. 3 days later, the girl was discharged from the hospital. As soon as she opened her car door, the scoundrel pushed her inside and drove off from the basement. Lee Min-hyung, who was handling the case, saw this. She tried to reverse and follow, but was blocked by a car at the intersection. Coincidentally, Cha Jung-woo was driving home from work. She quickly explained the situation, and they followed the car. Meanwhile, the girl deliberately provoked the scoundrel throughout the drive, causing him to lose patience, unaware that his arrogant behavior was being recorded. Eventually, Cha Jung-woo forced the scoundrel's car to stop. Lee Min-hyung seized the moment to smash the car window and arrest him for kidnapping, detention, and assault. A tracking device was found in the rear of the car, bringing the stalking and assault case to a close. That evening, a man fell from a building in a community, identified as the father who had caused a scene at the hospital. Lee Min-hyung found something resembling a suicide note in his pocket, filled with insults directed at Cha Jung-woo. The father's mysterious death seemed uncared for by his daughter, who hoped the police would conclude it as a suicide without further investigation. However, during their inquiries, the police found several discrepancies. There were no fingerprints from outsiders near the balcony railing and window, no signs of struggle in the apartment, and no traces of blood. Nevertheless, Lee Min-hyung noticed that each date on the calendar was marked with a place name. Searching these place names reveals related famous plastic surgery hospitals, with the most recent one scheduled for the end of this month. Additionally, the father's polished dress shoes and the dry-cleaned suit hanging on the wall raise some questions. According to the current clues, a father wanted to cover his daughter's scars by seeking out renowned plastic surgery hospitals, repeatedly inquiring after being turned away. However, it remains unclear why he would commit suicide despite finding a hospital. Soon, the news reported on the suicide case and disclosed the contents of the suicide note, which pointed all accusations at Cha Jung-woo. Misinformed patients began canceling their appointments, significantly reducing the hospital's business. On the other side, after completing her statement at the police station, the daughter learned from the autopsy report that her father died from multiple open fractures, causing major organ damage. Additionally, the father had lung cancer. The captain speculated that he might have been unable to afford surgery for his daughter before his death, leading to his guilt-induced suicide. Thus, he advised his team to close the case as a suicide. Lee Min-hyung caught up with the daughter to ask for more clues, but was told by the child that her father was responsible for her facial injuries. Her mother had left home, and her father, while drunk, had made a mistake that ruined her life. She didn't see the point in his guilt-driven suicide at this stage, especially with her privacy already compromised by the media. She requested Lee Min-hyung not to pursue the case to avoid further impacting her life. Meanwhile, a lawyer friend called Cha Jung-woo into his car, feeling that although Cha Jung-woo might not face criminal charges, he could not escape the pressures of public opinion. He advised that if Cha needed help, he should not hesitate to reach out. Back at the hospital, to quell the negative public reaction, the director called a press conference. Not only will they offer free reconstructive surgery for the girl on humanitarian grounds, but Cha Jung-woo will also perform 3 special surgeries as part of this social welfare initiative. In the afternoon, the police received a sudden report of a woman being molested in the restroom of an internet cafe. The perpetrator's face was slashed with a 12-centimeter gash by a dagger. Upon receiving the report, Lee Min-hyung immediately went to the scene. The victim and her boyfriend were still in the cubicle. According to the boyfriend, they were initially playing games in the cafe when he noticed the perpetrator staring at his girlfriend's legs while pretending to clean. Initially, he did not pay much attention, but when his girlfriend went to the restroom, the suspect followed with ill intentions. He followed closely and heard her scream just as he reached the door. Upon opening the door, he saw his girlfriend holding a dagger, looking tense, while the perpetrator sat on the floor, injured. Lee Min-hyung suggested they go to the hospital for evidence collection. Meanwhile, the perpetrator was taken to Cha Jung-woo's hospital, acting unusually concerned about scarring and fidgeting with buttons during stitching, which Cha Jung-woo noticed but did not disclose due to privacy concerns. On the other hand, after collecting evidence with his girlfriend, the boyfriend noticed a few drops of blood on his shoes and preserved them as evidence. Soon after, Lee Min-hyung arrived at the hospital, where Cha Jung-woo informed him that the perpetrator needed immediate surgery. It turned out that the individual was diagnosed as a female who had undergone breast implant surgery 3 weeks prior, but now faced a severe infection at the surgical site, posing a life-threatening risk if not promptly addressed. This means the couple was lying. However, someone deliberately spread details of the molestation case at the internet cafe online. Netizens all blamed the internet cafe manager, calling him scum, and even suggesting he was a habitual offender. Pressured by public opinion, the captain wanted to close the case quickly and ordered the suspect to be brought back from the hospital to the police station. Just as they were about to leave, Cha Jung-woo stopped them. Judging by the wound which deepened from top to bottom, he deduced that the person wielding the weapon was taller than the internet cafe manager. Otherwise, the wound would have gone from bottom to top. Meanwhile, the boyfriend had been caught by the police. Lee Min-hyung found blood traces on his shoes that had an elliptical end like a tail, known as cast-off bloodstains. These are dynamic bloodstains left on a stationary object, suggesting that blood splattered from the weapon to the shoes, forming a spatter pattern. This indicated that the boyfriend was the one who injured the manager. It turned out that while playing the game, the boyfriend accidentally spilled a drink. The manager kindly came to clean it, causing the boyfriend's game character to die, which led to an argument. Coincidentally, the girlfriend wanted to use the restroom, and since the manager's biological sex was female, she did not want others to know and was waiting outside. The angry boyfriend then pushed her inside and assaulted her. The couple then staged the molestation scene in front of the manager. Eventually, Lee Min-hyung arrested them for aggravated assault and false accusation. That night, the niece of a man who had died in a fall provided a key clue. On the night of the incident, she saw a suspicious man but could not make out his face due to the darkness. However, it seemed like there was something sticky on the sole of his shoes. Lee Min-hyung quickly realized this was why there were no traces left and began to suspect the death was not a suicide. Moreover, she did not understand why the murderer would involve Cha Jung-woo. At the same time, just as Cha Jung-woo arrived at his apartment, a car sped towards him.